How's it going, everybody? Tom Quiet here. Before we get started with this podcast, I really just wanted to jump on here to give you guys a little bit of a precursor, if you will, to give you a heads up. This podcast is an interview with Derrty Shirts. He's all the way from Boise, Idaho. We sat down and had an amazing conversation about hip hop, battle rap, and just how musicians need to handle themselves, and it's a really amazing conversation. I hope you guys like it. But I just kind of want to warn you, like the first 15 minutes we have some technical and connectivity glitches, and I did my best to clean it up as best I could. But if you guys can kind of ride through the first 15 minutes or so of the interview, it's really not that bad because I got a lot of the glitches out. At about the 15-minute mark, things start to pick up, and we should be good to go. So just kind of wanted to jump in here, give you guys that precursor, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and I'm sitting here with Derrty Shirts all the way from Boise, Idaho. You're getting ready for a rap battle tonight. So how are you? What are you doing to prepare for that?
So prepare for that. What I've been doing is just really practicing and rehearsing my bars. So these are all pre-writtens. We get 3 rounds each. So all I've been doing is just really focusing pretty much anytime I can in the shower, at work. I'm rehearsing my bars. I'm reciting them. Last night I went over to my partner's house and we were really getting our motions down, getting the attitude right. So it's really a lot of stuff. I'm actually trying not to strain too much my voice today because I got to do a lot of yelling tonight, but it's really just a lot of practice, not really bullshitting with people, like haven't really been kicking it with anybody. I've been pretty solitude out myself, just practicing.
Gotcha, understood. And as far as like the as the rap battle scene goes, do you for like tonight? Do you know who your opponent is, or do you find out? Is it like a draw of the hat when you get there?
So you do a lot of it's usually you know who it is. Like tonight, I know who I'm battling. I've been to a few places where they kind of just, it's kind of like that, like a roulette type style. You kind of just freestyle off the top and stuff.
Yep.
But so tonight I know who my opponent is. It's a dude named Salem Shadow Washington.
So as far as what's the rap battle scene like in Boise?
In Boise, it's definitely growing. There's a couple leagues. There's the Eastern Oregon Battle Coalition, and then there's Treasure Valley Battle League. It's getting bigger, slowly but surely. There's been a few hiccup and bumps, along the way, just with any business or anything getting started,
Mm-hmm.
But I would say it's going pretty good. I'm definitely excited to see where it goes, because I've always been a fan of battle rap for a good few years now. So it's kind of cool seeing it happen in my neck of the woods, in a sense, with Eastern Oregon, because Ontario is only like it's away from me, and then it's starting to get a little more buzzing around here. So it's just an awesome experience to be a part of, and really hope, kind of have my hand in it too, like a little history in the making out here.
I'm not overly familiar with a lot of the rap battle scene, but like obviously I'm familiar with some of the big names that have crossed over into mainstream, like a lot of the guys that are on Wild 'N Out and like Hollow to Don and all them guys. How has those guys crossing over shined up positive light on the rap battle scene? Have they helped the scene, or like from your position, what are your thoughts?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's helping the scene for sure. 'Cause, you know, while it's definitely cool and giving like the rappers, because the rappers like, but they're also helping push it. Like, you know, I already know like there's been, like you said, Hollywood Dawn. I think Arsenal's been on there a few times. But you know, it's just a bigger platform too, because when you're hitting like nationwide TV, you know, people are going to be like, oh, who are these guys? And when they look them up, I really think it does help out. You know, having that national platform.
How is there is there still like a URL, like a mainstream organization that's around, or like what's the
There
mainstream?
is. So yeah, URL. It's still alive, it's going good. They're actually this past year, I want to say they've been making a lot of big jumps towards uh, establishing themselves as like nationwide. Even though they've been for the most part nationwide, I know they just got in where you can tune in and they get special battles, and they just signed a deal with the app Caffeine, so they're going to be doing battles on there. So it's really cool seeing the evolution of it. Because they used to just be on DVDs where you'd have to get the DVDs to watch the battles,
Yeah.
from YouTube to pay-per-view, and now they have their own app. So it's really, really cool seeing it.
Is that, I'm assuming that's like an aspiration for you to get on one of their bills?
Uh, Maybe one day, because there's a few leagues that'd be cool.
Okay.
To be honest, the reason why I kind of hopped into battle rap is me being a fan of hip hop. That's so to me, it was really something I need to kind of prove to myself. Like, you know, this is another factor of hip hop. I at least got to try. And I had fun the first couple of battles, so I was just like, you know, I might as well do a few more. So I really do love it. I I don't think I'm gonna get main stages,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I can't shoot myself down. It's always a possibility, but it's just honestly, I'm just glad to be a part of the movement here for right now and do the battles I have done to help put on for the scene out here.
Gotcha. Understood. Um, so what got you into hip hop?
Oh man, I honestly would probably say my dad. To be honest, growing up, he was just always into all types of music. You know, like one month he'd just be super heavy on rock and roll music, and then next month he would just be into like uh, folk music and blues music, like the Boards and those kind of bands.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was probably like maybe 12, maybe my teenage years or something. But he got into rap for a little bit, like a Crystal Method, POD, and Fat Boy Slim or Fat Man Scoop, one of them. But
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, he started getting into it. So I was just like, you know, I like this stuff right here. And my brother just started showing me stuff like a Zero, Bone Thugs, Mac Dre, and then really, it was a signed deal. It was just like, man, this is my style of music right here.
Yeah. Understood. And do do you have somebody, or do you play any other types of or do you do any other types of music, or is it strictly hip hop and rap?
Uh, Mostly hip hop and I've been actually. I have a couple songs. I'm trying to do a little bit more R&B. I would really love to do like, honestly, I kind of just want to touch on like all genres. So I'd love to like try my shot, like trying to do a country song, trying to do medium stuff,
Gotcha.
learn how to play the instruments. Like I took guitar classes, but you know, nothing really stuck around with me to be able to do anything. So I'd really like to pick up an instrument one day and like, just kind of mold myself around everything, just be decent at a good little bit of instruments because it's just fun. I love really anything revolving music. I just love it.
Nice. And You had mentioned, I was listening through your memos and what have you, that you're a signed artist. What record label did you sign with? What was it, 2018, I believe you said?
Yeah, actually, that was my fault. It was 29. It's actually my year. So April
Oh,
last year,
okay.
uh, I signed to Too Sick Entertainment.
Okay.
That's ran by Misery, based out of California. Shout out to
Okay.
all my people, Too Sick Entertainment. But yeah, it's just a cool feeling. Because honestly, I've been no, I want to do it on my own, independent. I don't want no help. And then I think kind of my ego caught up with me, and I was just like, well, I want to be able to do this and this, but I just don't have the resources and everything. I was chopping up with the homegirl Misery. Uh, my friend Flo the Chain, she actually, and I was telling him, what's really going on with that? Like, what goes into that? Because I've never asked to sign or been offered to sign, so I don't really know the whole how far it goes and stuff with being signed.
Yeah.
But we were chopping it up. Me and Misery were chopping it up. She was tossing me stuff that what she does, and she's a hustler, and I definitely appreciate that in somebody. So that's kind of what sealed the deal for me on that one too. Just like, look, you grind hard, and I appreciate that. I grind hard, and I think I could be a good fit for y'all. And then we chopped it up, and like that, she came down on one of her tours, and just like magic.
Nice. And you said, or you mentioned that you had a couple of tours coming up, national tours coming up this year. What's
Yeah,
what? How did that all get started? What's the where are you headed? All that fun stuff.
no, of course. So the first tour I'm doing is with my brother Ace Flow, uh, my brother Higher Thinking, and the other brother Zero. So that one is just gonna be more of a little Northwest tour, because that tour is actually one that, for the most part, we put together ourselves with the help of Misery.
Okay.
So this is kind of all of our almost like beginning tour together, like as far as putting in our own work. So that one's super excited. We're gonna be hitting a few Oregon dates, Washington, Idaho, Montana. So that one's gonna be a fun Northwest run. And then October, me and Misery are gonna be hitting the road for the Hardly Sober Part 2 tour, and I'm super stoked for that one. We're going to Florida, like from starting in San Diego, hitting almost everywhere across all the way to Florida, up to the Midwest and back.
Oh, nice.
So I'm honestly super stoked for this one, because last year we did another tour, a Misery Loves Company tour, and we went from started in San Diego, Texas, Louisiana, uh, all the way up to New York, and it was just an amazing experience.
Nice. Um, are you? I'm assuming you guys are planning on coming through Texas.
Oh yeah,
Awesome. If you guys come through Waco, make sure you hit me up and let me
oh for
know,
sure, for sure.
because that and or if you're in Roswell, New Mexico, or if you come through New Mexico at all, I'm pretty sure I can get you set up there as well.
All right, well shoot, maybe after this I'll have to try and hit you up and get some links, because we're always looking to get linked up places if we can.
Yeah, I know in New Mexico, the Juggalo scene is pretty huge, but there's also like down in southeast New Mexico, there's a pretty decent hip hop scene starting to brew. So that's always exciting.
Hey, that works out. Hey, I love my Juggalo fam. I got the hatchet tatted on my chest, so I'm with
Oh,
it.
nice. Awesome. Um, as far where are you at writing wise right now, as far as for like an album or releasing singles?
So I actually have a couple singles in the chamber. One of them I have coming out. Probably my next one is called "Open Your Mind." That's with an artist from New Mexico. He goes by MCX.
Okay.
And then it's gonna be another homie from Philadelphia, the Brain Cell. And I'm actually getting one of the DJs around here, Spin Master Mugen, to put scratches on it.
Nice.
So I have a few singles lined up while I'm working on my album. Me and Spin Master Mugen actually, I'm gonna be working side by side with him as far as because he makes beats as well. So I'm gonna have him fully produce. I want him to fully record, and we're probably gonna do just like something small for right now, kind of get the vibes going, like a little 5-track. But that's my goal for this year. Is I really want to find a producer who I can work with hands on, like side by side. Because a lot of the tracks I've done, I went to like a few different studios just trying to find, see what the engineers can do and stuff. And what Mugen has done for me, I really love and appreciate his work. So, and we just click on a whole nother level. Like he's one of my best friends outside of music too. So I think we're just gonna have fun, and we're gonna try and get something dropped either after the July tour. Hopefully, try and get it out before we hit the nation tour in October.
Awesome. Um, and what's when you sit down to write, are you writing your lyrics first, or do you usually have a beat and then you decide, okay, I like this beat with these lyrics? Kind of what's your writing style like?
Uh, it it's honestly a little bit of both. Cause I have a I have a good few bit of writtens, where it's just like I was written for other beats, but they got scrapped or just writing because I was bored. So sometimes I do the method where I just try to match up uh my lyrics to the BPM of the beat, but sometimes that doesn't always work out. So I think honestly I do it always. Like sometimes I'll just hear a beat and it'll just like, yo, I need to write to this right now, so I'll just get to writing. Or sometimes I'll just have lyrics and a beat will come on and I'll just like start rapping it. I was like, oh, that actually fits pretty well, So
Mm-hmm. I
uh
gotcha.
yeah, so I'm just trying to do it all, but I guess the main way I would do it, I'd say mostly is I have to hear the beat first because I had to get the emotion of the song, I guess. Like I have to
Gotcha.
really kind of feel what I'm hearing.
Will you already have like an idea for a song and then you'll select the beat and then write the song to that beat? Or is that kind of how it works? Or
Uh, I guess my process is I just go through the beats, and I just kind of listen and serenade on them because sometimes a beat will just. I've had beats where just like, this one's not really cool, but then I'll come back on it like a week later and like, oh, I feel this now.
I,
So I usually hear the beat, kind of let it soak in my brain real quick, um, and then yeah, pretty much how I'm feeling there. But if it's a feature, I like doing features too because I'll have an idea for a song and then I'll go to my buddy's house and be like, oh, here, check this out. Here's how I feel. And they'll be like, oh, I don't know. This kind of gives me this feeling. And then like when I hear it and what they said and put it to the beat, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that actually does kind of sound like have a better tune to it. So I definitely rely on my friends a lot too. Like I'll show them and give them my ideas on it, and then they'll shoot back their ideas too. And sometimes theirs are better than mine. Sometimes I just stick with my idea. But
gotcha. Perfect. Um, and so, well, as you're kind of preparing for your rap battle tonight, what's going through your head right now as you're kind of preparing for that?
oh, don't choke. That's that's my main thing. That's my biggest worry every time because like when in the rap battles there's no beat or anything, so if
Mhm.
you fuck up they're gonna hear you mess up.
Yeah, gotcha. And and basically just have confidence. Is that another major important part of it? Because
Oh yes, majorly important, because people can hear the confidence in your bars, and if you don't believe your bars you're not going to convince anyone else.
Mhm.
So that's why like with my buddies I've been practicing, I've been you know I finally feel good about them, like because I think everyone goes through it. They write something, it's just like, no, I don't like it. But we're all our own worst critics.
Yeah, that is true.
So I spit them to my friends, and a lot of them said they really liked it. So that gave me definitely a confidence boost. Like okay, maybe I'm not writing trash. Maybe I'm not about to send myself to the slaughter right now.
Yeah, understand. And how often do you do like a rap battle? Is it a weekly thing, or is it how often do you perform?
For me, as far as rap battles, I try to do them every couple months. Because me personally, I am horrible at trying to write stuff right off the fly.
Gotcha.
So I do them every couple months. This year, with having a few more tours set up, I'm probably going to be doing this battle and then one more battle in April, and then I'll probably focus more on music, and then just really depending how it goes. Maybe if there's an end of the year event, I might hop on that one, see what's up with it. But as far as that, I'll probably just do a couple more battles this year. I'm gonna be hosting one in July as well.
Nice. That was actually leading nice little lead into my next question. Um what uh how do you balance your rap battling career with your regular hip hop career? How do you like how hard is it to balance that?
To me, I feel it's very hard. Not as far as shows per se, but as far as writing new material. Because when I get into the rap battle, that's 100% my focus. I'm spending all my energy and writing into the rap battles. So it kind of breaks away from me writing other songs. But, you know, there's been a few times where I just was burnt out on it, and I would go to a friend's house and we would smash out a track right there, you know. But
Yeah.
it's really difficult for me because I try to give everything I do 100%. How big, how little, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
with rap battles, it's because it is related to music, and I don't want to give myself a bad look anywhere in the music, like no matter what it is. So I'm giving it 1,000%. So I feel it's really hard for me, just as far as like if I want to just work on my project with Spin Master Mugen, I'd have the battle in the back of my head, like, oh, you know, I should be practicing, I should be writing, I should be critiquing and tightening it up.
Gotcha. Um how'd you get introduced to Spin Master Mugen? How'd you start building that relationship?
Oh man, I honestly feel one of the first times I met him, I'm pretty sure we met in shows. I'm pretty sure he was DJing probably a few of the shows we performed at, and you know, a lot of the people. Little tip for everybody: y'all need to respect the DJ, introduce yourselves to him, because that was something I like. Me and my buddy would always do, like from the sound guy to the bartender owner. We'd make sure we introduce ourselves to everybody. And Spin Master Mugen, you know, he was one of them. We introduced ourselves. I feel either it was one of the shows or it was a beat battle he was in. Because I wanted to support him. I really love his stuff. So uh, me and my buddy shot out there just to go support. And, you know, really from there, I'm pretty sure it was in the bag. He's just like, bro, you know, like, I appreciate you coming out. And he's just like, you know, it's all love. Like, you're dope. I would love to see you win this. And then really from there, we just slowly been steady talking, and then actually hung out besides music, and yeah, just built just a really good friendship and bond altogether.
That's that's awesome. Um, but that also kind of spawned the next question. One of the things we like to do is help inspire young musicians. We want to make sure that we're cultivating the next generation of musicians, give them advice, make sure they're doing things not like what we would consider, what I would consider the right way, but maybe like not necessarily, make sure they're getting into it for the right reasons, and make sure that they
Right,
have a nice like solid foundation so that they don't come in and start acting like a drama whore and start ruining their career before they even get one. So my question to
right.
you is, what advice do you have for young hip hop artists looking to start performing or break in on the scene?
Uh, number one, I just had to say be respectful. Because that's on out here, a lot of people like will shit on each other's music or just think they're top dog and everything, and it's just like, okay, like, but what are you doing? You know, like, you can talk all this stuff, but you're doing nothing to prove it. So I think definitely like just being respectful and humble, that will get you so far in music career. Like, a lot of people like my bars, I don't think they're the best, but you know, I'm just a humble dude and people respect me and my craft just off of me being nice, you know, like, so I really feel for the younger generation. I think it's just respecting the other artists around you, respecting the venues and everything, like the DJ, like I was mentioning earlier, because I've had DJs tell me like, yo, homie didn't even introduce himself to me, so I'm just walking off the stage like when they come up so they can figure out their own music.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I can respect that, you know, because you can't just treat people like, you know, you
Yeah.
own them, like, oh, I'm performing tonight, you have to play. It's just like, no, I don't. I'm the DJ, so I can
Yeah.
choose if you perform or not.
Yeah. Exactly. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Uh, shoot, probably. That's really tough. Probably something me and my buddies honestly kind of made up together. It's a little movement we have called Show Love, Grow Love.
Mm-hmm.
And really just it's just showing love and, you know, just supporting each other. That's really the best probably advice I've ever really gotten, is just having love for your fellow artist, your fellow dreamer, and just supporting them any way you can. Even because I support a ton of people out here, and half of those people don't even care to take a second to share my music or anything like that. But you know, it's all good. I'm not tripping on that because I have love for the scene out here. So,
Yeah.
you know, like, a lot of the artists have this crab in the bucket mentality, and if they see someone getting free, they're gonna try and bring them down. But
Mm-hmm.
it only takes one person to get free to really get us all out of there, you know?
Yeah. I've seen that in a lot of scenes, and not to like point out specific independent scenes, but I've seen it where one person gets an in at a specific venue and plays gatekeeper, and then if somebody's not willing to bow down to them, they just kind of burn their entire, or try to burn their entire career. And it's like, yo, that's not how you build a scene. That's not, you got
Exactly.
to support everyone regardless.
No, exactly. And I've definitely seen that out here, you know, and I think that kind of falls back to the line of the respect thing too, you know, like, because there's some artists out here who do have like venues on lock, but they won't ever let anyone else perform unless it's them. And it's just like, all right, guys, well, that's cool. You guys say you got love for the scene, but you're not trying to
Like,
help anybody out.
yeah, exactly. And then, or if you got somebody bringing in like a national or a national touring act that can really draw, and by putting a local opener on it, they help that person's career. But there's some venues that I've seen that won't do that. Like,
Exactly. And I was gonna actually say too, that's how I feel. There's this venue out here, the Knitting Factory.
mm-hmm.
Any national touring artist, you know, they put my homie Zero on there, and I'm not trying to hate on Zero. You know, that's my boy right there.
Yeah,
It's just crazy that the Knitting Factory just doesn't really give other people a chance to do it. You know, it's just like, no, Zero's dope, but give another artist a chance. You know, like, do your research, see who's putting in work out here, try to help them out. But
mm-hmm.
you know, it is what it is right now. You know, like,
Yeah,
there's really not much you can do as far as venues, like,
yeah,
because the venues are going to choose. But, you know, I'm still fighting, still trying to make my way in there.
yeah. And I mean, it's one of those things where if they have like a legit reason where it's like, oh, we didn't feel like they fit the bill, or they weren't really what we were looking for, I get that. But when it's the same act every show, and that same act is playing 2 or 3 times a month for every opener, then it becomes an issue. Like,
Yeah. And
you
like
know,
I said, no disrespect to my boy Zero. Like, he's the Knitting Factory's go-to person, you know,
yeah,
like, and I respect that. You know, he's put in his work to get to that level. Now
Yeah.
it's just to the point, like, try and help someone else to get to that level too. Because, could you imagine, like, not only having one really good person, but having a few good people, and
Mm,
then doubling maybe yourselves, like,
yeah. And I mean, to be fair, I have seen, I not to defend like the venues and whatnot, but I have seen it where it backfires. I have this buddy who has a band, and they done a couple of shows for a venue in New Mexico, and he's said like, "Hey, these guys like spread the love." So like his band stepped aside and said, "Hey, these guys would be great for this band," and then that band shits the bed because they weren't ready or they weren't professional or whatever. And it's like, yo, sometimes
yeah, like, it's definitely a two-way street. And that's kind of what I was saying too. Like, I feel venues, I think they kind of need to do their research too and see
who's
because
ready.
that's happened out here a few times. There's been a few shows where it's just like, oh, new artist around here got on one of the big shows. He
Mm-hmm.
gets there, but he doesn't have a DJ or anything to do his
Mm-hmm.
music, so he kind of, he did all that work, but he wasn't prepared himself. So it's just like, well, you need to be ready for any type of situation almost, and then so they're out of opener, so it's kind of makes the venue look bad. Like, okay, well, what's going on?
Yeah, I gotcha. Um, what's one thing that you've learned throughout your career so far that you wish you would have known when you got started?
Uh, Probably just honestly, probably saving money. That's something I really wish I did a lot more of. I think I was spending more money to try and get on cool shows, like just for the name and possible exposure. I wish I would have invested more into studio equipment and that sort of stuff. So
Yeah,
I feel I kind of did myself kind of bad on that one. I don't regret it, but if I could go back, I probably wouldn't invest so much in doing certain shows.
thank you for saying that. I've been trying to tell. There's a lot of hip hop acts that come to me or my buddy Jeff. Just for context, Jeff's the audio engineer that does a lot of our live music performances. Uh,
Okay.
so he's like the audio engineer, and we get a lot of these hip hop acts that come in and tell us who they played for, and it like so this one guy's like, yeah, I got to play for Stevie Stone. And it's like, oh yeah, what'd you get out of it? It's like nothing. It cost me $1,000. And
Exactly.
it's like, why are you paying to be on a set? Like that makes absolutely no sense. Like if it's a deal where you're not getting paid, but you're not paying anything, okay, yeah, that sucks. But I've seen a whole
No.
bunch of different other
I
ways to do that work and not paying, you know?
Yeah, I totally feel you there. Like, and I think that was the thing too. A lot of people, like, some stuff it's like, pay to play. It's a thing. We're
Yeah.
not gonna avoid it. You just gotta kind of pick and choose. Like, when the big names come out here, I get messages like, oh, if you drop, like you said, drop us $500, you can open up.
Yeah.
All right, well, do I get tickets to sell to make my money back? Do I get anything? No, you just pay and you can perform.
And the crazy one thing that I learned is a lot of that's not even the artists themselves demanding that money. It's whoever the promoter is.
Exactly, and that's why it's just such a shady game sometimes, because it's
Mm-hmm.
just like they're trying to get money in their pocket, and it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah. Because there was a couple of times that we live and amplified almost got taken, but luckily we don't have the money to be thrown around like that. There was a time where Lazy Bone was going to be playing in Southeast New Mexico, and I was talking to the promoter or whoever to set up an interview, and they wanted $1,000 to do the interview, and I'm like, oh, I ain't paying $1,000 for a 15-minute interview. It ain't worth it. And then
Exactly.
there was another guy that came through, part of like Tech Nine's crew, like he's part of that whole thing. and
Right.
it like the promoter was trying to hold me up for $500 to do the interview, and I'm like, dude, you're struggling to sell tickets as it is. Like, if anything, I'm going to help you move tickets, not, you know. And
Exactly.
I found out from one of the guys closer to I can't think of the name of the act that was playing, but I knew a couple of the guys on the inside, and he's like, dude, you could have drove to Albuquerque. He would have given you 2 hours, and it wouldn't have cost you anything. I was like, well, had I known that, I would have went to Albuquerque. And so now I'm just sitting here fighting with a promoter that's trying to hold me up for money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's so many janky promoters like who just want that little bit like, and that's what makes it so bad, like sad too. Is just like they'll do it for the most petty thing, like, oh, like I just want to go meet homie. I'm opening up. I'd love to get a picture with him. Sorry, he charges $200 for it. Doesn't matter who you are. Just like, bro, I just opened up for you. I sold hell of your tickets. Like, almost got it sold out. I can't even get a picture with them.
Yeah,
Sorry, man.
that's messed up. And that probably not even the artist, that's the promoter.
Yeah, just trying to get some money in his pocket. Like, because a lot of the artists I've met are usually pretty chill, and just like, oh, yeah, no worries, like, come back, let's kick it, actually. And it's just like, oh, for real?
Yeah.
Homie out front was just trying and pull some stuff, wool over my eyes. And it's like, and I think it's crazy, too, because I feel sometimes the artists know it, too, but they just kind of shrug it off like, oh, really? Okay, I'll talk with them.
Yeah. It's like, okay, it's funny. But what outside of when you're not performing, what are you doing for fun? Like, what do you do to relax when you don't have to worry about the music industry?
Uh, Honestly, just spending time with my family. Because I work a full-time job, and then with the music, I rarely get time to kick it with my girl and my daughter. So, we do have our one day. Sundays is usually both our days off, so I try not to book anything for Sundays, and
Mm-hmm.
just turn off our phone or just hang out together all day, have our family day. That's that's about it, to be honest. I play some video games sometimes. I'm not really as into it as I used to be,
Yeah,
but really, that's what I like to do for fun, is just kick with my family and friends, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
just not on the move, actually, just being able to kick in one spot.
yeah. That's the crazy thing about video games is, like, you see all these kids that are making millions of dollars, and it's like, dang, I used to play video games just as hardcore as them.
Oof,
And
I know.
then my mom's like, you better get off you better get off that PS2, and it's like, okay, because being 14 years old, what am I going to say? No. Uh,
Exactly. That's how I
it's
was with Super Smash Brothers. Just like I was so good at that game, and like I could only imagine if I had like the same amount of love and skill for that game now as I did now. Like
yeah,
then now it's just like, oh man, I could quit rapping if I wanted to.
yeah, and then like even like the let's plays and all that stuff that you can do on YouTube, it's like, dang, I did one random one because a couple years ago my sister bought me one of those Super Nintendo classics, and I was like, you
Right.
know what, that's cool. So I did started like a Twitch account and all that stuff, and was like, let's try something different. Like, I'm doing the live and amplified thing, and that's cool and that's fun, and I love it. But I also want to re-explore my love for video games because, like, up until like 2012, it was video games all the time. I was in college. Me and my buddies were playing like Call of Duty, GTA, all that stuff. And then once I got out of college, it was like, I got other stuff I got to do, drop the video games, and I wanted to re-explore it. So, you know, but
No, for real. Sometimes you need to do that too. Like,
yeah,
because I've got myself immersed in the games like that Apex Predators. When I had
okay,
internet for a little bit, I downloaded that, and I was in that game for like maybe a day straight. Like,
wow,
yeah, I would like play it when I would wake up, put my headset on, just get into it, because I just haven't played a game in a long time, and I really like the shooting game. So I was like, okay, this is pretty fun, like,
yeah,
and then just like quick as I got into it, I was out of it. I was just like, all right, I'm kind of bored now. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like as you grow older, it's just kind of like, okay, I got other stuff I'd rather be doing, you know.
exactly.
And
And
it's all
then I'm pretty sure with yourself being as busy, you know, like, because what goes through my head when I play a video game, like, and I look like, oh, I've been on it for an hour, just like, well, shoot, I could have been
doing
doing this for an hour.
anything.
Like,
I could have been doing anything else for an hour.
yeah, but I chilled here and played video games.
Yeah. Um one other thing that I've really started looking into is the importance of mental health, because I think that's something that not enough people talk about, as far as
Right.
especially as far as like musicians go, and being making yourself essentially an open book emotionally when you're out there performing. Is that
Right.
something that you've looked into, or as far,
It is, because I tried to, because myself, I actually do deal with depression, and some growing up in my life, the male stigmatism, like, you know, oh, you need to be tougher, like, you're having a bad day, men don't cry, that kind of stuff, you know,
yep,
I grew up with that kind of stuff, so it's just like, when I finally went to a doctor to talk to them about it, they were just like, yeah, you have like a case, you know, you have depression.
mm-hmm,
And it was just like a really hard pill for me to swallow. Like, nah, like that can't be real, you know, like, because I would just always had that mindset that honestly, you know, depression and all that stuff wasn't real. It was just a bad day.
yeah,
One of my songs off the new album I just dropped with my buddy, it's called Into the Deep. I feel I really touched well on that because it's like a, you know, on the outside, people may know me, but really behind the mask, you guys have no idea what I'm going through. Like,
yeah,
the struggles I'm dealing with, you know, like, you know, even something minute, like something little goes wrong in the day, like I'm I'm upset, you know?
yeah. And that's why I try not to, because how I perceive things and how you perceive things are two different things, and it also depends on what's going on through our head, because you don't know, like I don't know what you went through 20 minutes before you logged in and we started this podcast. You could have just had like the worst argument ever with your girl. Like I don't know. And so like anytime I get into I don't want to call it like a heated conversation, but like a spirited conversation, I try and just pull myself back and just let them speak their piece and not hold it against them, because you like mental space is such a huge thing, and taking things out of context can only hurt that.
I totally agree.
um like for like growing up in south suburbs of Chicago, or in growing up in South Chicago, I kind of went through a lot of the stuff you were talking about the being a big tough dude and standing up for what's yours. And like especially in high school, where I went to high school, the big motto was show no love, love will get you killed type situation.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of suck up a lot of stuff, and that messed me up for a really long time. And luckily, I've kind of been able to sort through a lot of those. And so things are a lot better than they were about 10 years ago.
No, I
But,
totally feel you there.
you know, and it's just like, even if it just helps one person, like I just want to start really talking about mental health and making sure people know, like, hey, it's going to be all right.
No, I feel you 100%. And that's honestly like, if someone's being rude to me, like, that's why I treat everybody like, because I don't know, like you were saying, I don't know their situation you're going through in your life right now. So I can't have no hate to you. I don't know what you're going through.
Yep.
And that's why I try to periodically drop on my personal Facebook or my main page, like, hey, if anyone needs to talk, I am an open ear. Like, no one should
Mm,
ever go through anything alone, because I've done that a lot myself. Like, I've been through a lot of traumas alone, you know, that would
yep.
have helped me out so much if I had someone just even cry to, or just like sit in silence with, just knowing I had someone there in my corner, you know? So I
Yep.
always try to let people know, like, hey, like, anyone can talk to me. Like, I don't really care if I'm not a fan of you. If you need to talk, like, holler at me. Like, we all need someone to talk to.
Yeah, very true. Um, so what we one thing that popped into my head about your battle rap career, and I kind of want to ask this question: have you ever delivered a line that inspired a song?
Ooh, that's an awesome question. I honestly feel like I have. I would actually have to go back because
And
after the battle rap, like, because another reason I like doing it is because I really feels it works my mental muscle. Because with
Mhm.
battle rap, like we were talking earlier, it's a cappella, so they're listening to every single word. So you really have to be very descriptive or make it very accurate. So
Mhm.
I think if not inspired by them, I think it definitely helped draw out my creative side to new songs or old beats that I've heard and be like, okay, now that I've heard it, like uh maybe not using the same lines but something similar, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, I get you. That's it was just something that popped into my head, and because it's like I can imagine like a scenario where you say something, and then in the back of your head, it's like, oh, let's catalog that one because that was good. I could turn that into something completely beyond of this rap battle.
Exactly, like and that's what I really love about it, because it's a lot of similes and metaphors and all that stuff. And like when I hear some of the stuff, it's just like, oh, okay, how can I compare that this one and kind of give it that revamp? So I'll definitely say lines, maybe not directly, but I would say definitely a lot of the battle rap stuff that I have wrote has probably inspired uh, a different take on what I rap about or how I rap it.
Gotcha. Um, let's kind of go back to what got you into hip hop and all that stuff. Um, what what would you say your style? Do you have like a style that you've modeled yourself after, or people say, "Oh, you sound like this guy"? Do you have like a
Um, I would, me personally, I guess the style is just I guess I have an unorthodox style. I've been
okay?
told that a few times. Like I don't I don't have like super serious where I'm like the vernacular Dracula coming after you, like
Yeah,
I don't have like a formula like that. It's just one, I'm not afraid to say what I want, like, even if I'm talking about like, example, if I was talking about I'm about to drop it like a poop or something, like
yeah,
I wouldn't be afraid to say that in my rap just because people might think different, like, oh, well, that's kind of stupid. Why would you say something like that?
yeah.
So I think I'm very unorthodox. I've heard a lot. I have a very uh, East Coast sound,
Okay.
which is really weird because I never really grew up jamming a lot of East Coast artists. It was more down the Southern artist.
Yep.
Uh, so I think it really depends. Like when I was with my group, Rhythm and Rhyme, me and my homie Deceased, it was strictly, for the most part, hip hop. And I think if anything, that's probably where people get where I sound from the East Coast, because I was like trying to get very lyrical and still have my own little style and swag to it. And East Coast rappers, they're very descriptive and lyrical with what they do.
Yep.
And then I think as far as me branching off and going solo, I think a few more my songs have been more loose and laxed. So I
Hmm.
think that's where the southern is coming out. It's just like, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to have fun, do this, like let's go.
Yeah. Is actually I really like the way you answered that because you didn't name like a specific person. You said like sections of hip hop. I guess is the best way to describe it because it kind of drives me a little nuts when like especially in like football and stuff. It's like, oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's the next John Elway or something like that, and it's
Right.
like, no, he has John Elway tendencies, not it, and
Exactly.
it's just one of those things where it's like he's not. Why can't he be the first Patrick Mahomes? But he has a pling style.
Yeah, I think kind of like a when Colin Kaepernick was still playing, a lot of people were saying like, oh, he's the next Joe Montana. It's just like, no, he has like a style like Joe Montana,
Yeah.
but he still has like his own way he does things, so.
Yep. But yeah, no, I really like the way you answered that, and it just kind of like, I mean, I guess it was also the way I phrased the question as well. So, but what's the plan? We've talked a lot about what you're doing currently, what your past is. What's your plan moving forward? Where do you want to take your career? Is there hopes of an album? Like,
So as far as my plans for my career, album is definitely gonna be in the works for sure. Actually just became a brand ambassador for this neon brand clothing, which I'm very excited for. This will be a new step, new adventure I've never really had the chance to do before, so I'm very excited for that one.
awesome.
And really, I just uh, like I said in a previous interview, I'm just trying. Music for me is personally to express myself, how I
Hmm.
feel. If it helps somebody, I really hope it does. That's always the goal. And I want people to, I guess my main message is just like, be yourself, like do what you love doing and don't be afraid to do it, even if people look at you different.
Yeah.
So I think really is uh just having fun with the time I'm here, trying to help anybody I can out, and then, you know,
Yeah. No,
with this.
I get it. Um, and you're not originally from Boise, right?
No, I'm originally from California. I was born in Vallejo, California, and then moved to Fairfield for like the first 6, 7 years of my life. But I've been here since like 6 or 7, so I consider myself from here.
Okay. And what brought you out to Boise? Was it just obviously the family brought you out there, but was it just job related or?
Yeah, because I think honestly, maybe before we moved there, I'm not too sure. Because my dad, he worked for the army,
Oh,
so he went to Saudi Arabia, I think, helping the shipping yards out there. So I think we were at like a coastal place. I want to say maybe Texas, like for about 6 months maybe.
okay,
But yeah, it's pretty much just work, and then just family related
gotcha,
issues, my grandparents and stuff. So I believe they wanted to move closer and be closer with them. So I think that was a a bigger reason of why we moved to Idaho.
gotcha. And what for the people that have never been to Boise? What's the music scene like out there?
No, it's awesome. There really is a bunch of talented people. I would probably say it's more rock and heavy metal based around here.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a ton, I'm pretty sure just like in every place there's like hundreds of rappers here, or people trying to rap, but uh they're, and just like everywhere, there's a handful of them that are really good, and I try to support everyone, good or bad, like I would never shit on anyone chasing their dreams, but
Yeah,
I'd say it's a pretty good scene here. Like for anyone touring, trying to come through, I think it really just depends on who you put on the show, if you're trying to get a crowd or not.
yeah,
Because there's some artists who pretty much just come to the show, they won't sell tickets or promote, they'll just come to the show, perform, and they even bounce after their performance. So
that's not good.
yeah, and that's why, son, I always tried to, like, when I was on the road, like, uh any opening acts that we had for us, I tried to stand up front and support every single one of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. And you're headed. Where's your performance tonight?
It's in Ontario, Oregon.
Okay. And how far of a drive is that?
That's just like a 40-minute hour drive for me.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
not,
it's a
not
blessing to be that close to Oregon.
yeah. And how is that something you do, or do you travel to Oregon for performances a lot, or is it mainly just for like the rap battle stuff?
Recently it's been kind of getting more and more, because one of my friends, Psycho Flores, who runs Eastern Oregon Battle Coalition, he actually became the event booker for the place a lot of the performances are going at. And
Mm-hmm.
anytime if like I hit him up like, hey, you got a free slot on this or anything, like it's usually always loving. He's like, yeah, just come through, bro. You already know I got you. So recently it's because just I feel in the past 6 months is kind of Ontario's been getting more shows as
Mm-hmm.
far as hip hop's going. So I've been trying to make it out there as much as I can and do my shows out there if I can too. So
Nice.
I'd say because Ontario is really just a small town. They had one of their weed shops open up, and one of the guys they brought Snoop Dogg out and almost shut down the city. Like
Oh wow.
that's how small it is, you know.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. Um, but yeah, what's just kind of to recap everything because you've gone through so many different acts in your career. What's like the history of your musical career, like from your solo to your rap battle stuff, and then you mentioned earlier that you were in a group.
Yeah. So I guess the beginning of it, the very beginning. So when I was 18, uh, I wanted to kind of do solo stuff. So I was recording songs on my video camera and uploading them on MySpace, and they're horrible. I
Yeah,
hated those.
that's fun.
But so I moved because I was living in Oregon at the time. I moved back home, and then a group of my buddies we went out to the Gathering of the Juggalos in Illinois, and
Okay.
on the way there, my cousin was hyping me up to one of our mutual friends because he was a rapper too, and he was actually performing that year at the gathering,
Mm-hmm. What
and he
year?
was just like,
What year was that?
uh, 2013, I think. It was the last year it was at Cave and Rock.
Yeah. Actually, I almost got media passes, but I think it was for 2012 because I'm from Illinois and I went to school about an hour and a half south of Cave and Rock. And
Oh, that's what's up.
my buddy was a news reporter, got media passes, and I was like, oh, let me see if I can get media passes. And I did, but I got some information from another buddy that I probably shouldn't go. So I was like, all right. And, I was like 21, dumb, didn't know any better. So I was just like, all right, I'll believe you. And
Hey, it happens, you know.
yeah, but no, so you were at the Gathering of the
Oh,
Juggalos. Yep.
oh yeah. So yeah, we're at the gathering on the way back. Like the cousin is talking me up to our homie, just like, oh, you guys should rap together. You guys should rap together. So on our way back, it was me, deceased, the homie Murderface the Butcher, and there was actually supposed to be a fourth member of our group, the Dead Blunt Master, but just some stuff happened. He wasn't able to make it as much as me and deceased were, so he kind of just was just like, no, it's cool, I'll let you guys do your thing. You guys are getting it down.
Yeah.
So we were a group. We called ourselves Hellfire Clique. We are into the horrorcore scene, But what I really liked about our group is because I'm a juggalo. I love the horrorcore music, but I wasn't really trying to spit all that. I'll chop your head off, all that stuff. I still wanted to have my originality to it. So I felt that's how we did so good too. Like, cause we had a
Yeah.
little bit of success. Like we weren't crazy popping or anything, but as far as I want to say, like maybe the Boise horrorcore music scene, we got relatively known real fast.
Yeah.
And because my buddy deceased, he's very lyrical, like he's very smart with his words. Me, I kind of had more of the style, the swagger, I guess. And then our buddy Jake, he was more strictly horrorcore. So
Gotcha.
just all of us together, it kind of just blended in and made something really nice. We recorded like 20 tracks. We were about to put it out, and then we went to a show, Gore Fest, to perform, and performance went good, but the whole trip it was just bad. Like everyone was fighting with each other. It was just a whole situation. So
Yeah.
when we got back, me and my buddy deceased, we were talking, and we were a little heated at the time. Not even gonna lie, but we were just like, well, shoot, man, like I don't want to ever do that again. I don't want to have to deal with that. So we were talking and just like, well, bro, I still want to rap. Like, I don't know about you. And we both wanted to do the thing still. And we were just like, but we got to break away from horrorcore, you know, like we got to keep it real with ourselves. And then we were honestly chilling at another one of my cousin's house, and uh, we were smoking weed in the bathroom, and we came up with the name Rhythm and Rhyme, and we just started writing, you know, like I made us a set, or no, I booked us a show, and we had no songs wrote pretty much. So it's just like, well, we got to come up with like 6 songs real quick in like 3 weeks.
Okay.
So that's kind of the birth of Rhythm and Rhyme. And then as far as Rhythm and Rhyme goes, we were going strong for probably about like 3 years or so. And honestly, I felt we were one of the top artists out here as far as being entertainers. Like
Mm-hmm.
every show, we had just such great balance with each other. We were fun on stage. We brought a lot of energy to the crowd, and I think that's something that really helped us put us up there too, because we're getting more into the entertainment side.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, entertainment side of it. Um,
I
and
think that
then
I think that's one thing a lot of musicians underestimate is the entertainment aspect of it.
yeah, I totally 100% agree, because anyone can get up on stage and like rap into a mic, you know, but are you moving around? Are you having fun? Are you joking with people? Like
Yeah.
some people just get up on stage, just spit their words and get off. It's just like, you know, you had cool stuff. You didn't do anything that drew me into you, you know, like I could just listen to your CD like at home if I wanted to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Sounds like a Hollywood Undead set. I mean, who said that? But
No, that little white lip
yeah,
syncer.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I but I remember when my buddy introduced me to Lil White, and it's like I've never even been to one of his concerts, but I went and saw something online, and I was like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, the first time I actually saw him was at the gathering, and like he was just so tore up. Like the song was going, and he just had the mic by his side, and he was just like bobbing his head for like half a verse and everything, and he just like every now and then Oxycontin, like you know,
Right.
it's just like, bro, you're trash. Like, is this really it? And like
Yeah.
people were getting hyped for it. It's just like that. That's one thing that really irks me. I hate karaoke rappers. Like
Yep.
that's one thing that always gets to me. Like maybe like if you're doing a solo, have a few ad libs, that's totally understandable. But if you're having your full song backed up, like come on, man.
Yeah. That I think that's another thing that up and coming musicians or hip hop acts should know is I've been to a couple of shows just helping my Jeff, my audio engineer, like do whatever he needs, like whether it's moving stands or whatever. And we get these hip hop acts that come up and it's like, hey, do you have your beat to cue or whatever? And they hand us their CD. Like they go to the merch table and pull a CD and hand it to us. And then they just basically lip sync to the CD. And it's like,
Yeah,
this isn't a live performance. I'd almost rather just have you sit here and go a cappella without the music. Like,
right.
you know,
Nah,
uh,
and that was something I experienced a lot on tour. So funny story. So we probably got every form of media on tour, like CDs. The craziest one, somebody legit had to go to their messenger and play it off of Facebook from Facebook Messenger. That was like the saddest thing I ever seen. I'm like, bro, you don't have a USB, you don't have anything. Like,
yeah,
no, just play it off my Facebook. And it's just like, bro, that's not how it works though. Like,
yeah, that's funny. Oh man. And but like then towards the end of the show, we had one of the guys came up. He was like, "Dude, all I have is my instrumental. Is that going to be all right?" It's like that's how you're supposed to perform. Like the rest of these dudes don't know any better. Like you did it right, and he was like, "Oh, okay," and just went on and performed. And it was like, "Thank you," you know.
right. And I think that's what's kind of taken away from good shows these days is people think they can just people are letting their music play and they're the background noise all of a sudden. And it's just like I've seen that so many times. Like people weren't even, like I said with Lil White, people were playing their full songs, but they were literally just rapping their background noises. Like, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
They're
hey. It's
dropping
just
the
like,
ad libs.
yeah, and it's just like, bro, like, what is this?
Yeah, that's funny. Um, what, when you perform, what's a show? What's your show when you're doing a show? Not so much the battle rapping, but what's a show like for you? Do you have a or do you have a live DJ scratching for you, or like what can people expect when they see you play live or perform live?
When I was on tour, shout out to the LOC, but we would, because he was doing my set every night, because I pretty much have a set, I have my set list pretty much all chopped down and everything, all instrumentals. But that was something I had to learn too, because he's just like, hey, do you got your tracks broken down and separated? I'm just like, no, I just have them all in one set, like that's how I've always done it.
Yeah,
And he was just like, oh, well, bro, like, you're working with an actual DJ now, like, if you get the tracks, like, broken down, I can, like, scratch them and mix them in, like, make it dope. So that was a lesson I had to learn, because usually out here, like, if I have Spin Master Mugen, he'll spin my tracks live. If I ask him to do a show with me, he's
yeah,
usually pretty down if he's free. But,
nice.
for the most part, I just have my set list, but, I always get hype. I try to get hype, no backgrounds except for one hook because I don't sing that hook, so I
Yeah,
have the person who sings it on there. But
gotcha.
no, if I have a DJ, I always let them know like, hey, if you want to have fun, do scratches, do beat drops, whatever you want, I will work with it, and we're gonna get it popping.
Yeah, nice. Um, but yeah, as we kind of start drawing this one to a close, because I don't want to keep occupy all your time. I know you got a huge show to prepare for tonight. Um, what
No worries, I'm loving this interview.
I appreciate it because it's actually the first time that I've interviewed. It's actually not the first hip hop act I've done. We did a band out of Salt Lake City called House of Lewis, or an act out of Salt Lake City or Provo.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's been awesome, and I wasn't quite sure where this was going to go. Um, what's I'm going to ask you a very vague question, and it's kind of one of our staple questions that we ask everybody. But it's going to be a very vague question, and I'm going to just kind of let you take it where you want to take it. Um, why
Perfect.
why music?
Why music? It's just an excellent form of self-expression. Um, music's always been there for me my entire life. To me, I honestly think music makes the world go round. Could you imagine movies without music, scary movies without music? Like, it just wouldn't be the same. You know, I just feel even like I think when I was a senior, 11th grade, that was one of my, I don't know what it's called. I'm just gonna say a thesis project or something, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just like, what you think has revolutionized the world? And I honestly do feel it's music. Music can make you feel every kind of emotion. It can bring you up. It can bring you down. It's just so powerful. Even just like hearing a little piano tune, how much like one noise of music can affect one's mind.
Yeah, it's very much a universal language.
Exactly, and everyone can speak it.
Yep. Like even if you can't understand what they're saying because it's not in a language that you speak, you know what they're feeling. Like you know what they
Exactly.
you get the idea of what they were going through when they wrote it. You have an idea of what they're trying to convey. It's just yeah, I agree. It's everything. It's the lifeblood. And yeah. So that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here with Live and Amplified is Yeah, like the mainstream artists, they've already had their break and they're already cemented and solidified, and their stories are already being documented. We want to make sure that even the guys or the people that are starting out or their career never goes past playing at the VFW hall or whatever. We want to make sure their story gets told.
None. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, and it really takes, you know, it takes so much, and a lot of artists should appreciate you, because it's things like this that, it's gonna boost me up, like,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just you're helping me get my story out there too, and I greatly appreciate that, like 100%.
I appreciate you giving me the time to sit down and chat. Not really wrapping it up yet, but it's been an awesome experience. And like I tell everybody, especially when I'm interviewing people that I've had very little context of who they are and what they do or what their backstory is, I never know how these interviews are going to go. Like it could go the greatest interview ever and we could sit here for 3 hours and chat, or it could be done in 10 minutes. I've had them go both ways.
No, and I definitely feel you there, but I really appreciate you. You're honestly a great interviewer. I've had people just kind of just throw random questions and just not really know what to do after that. So I honestly appreciate you taking all the time and really you've asked some awesome questions I've never been asked before. So thank you for that.
Yeah. um but yeah, like I because the interesting thing to me is and I don't want to keep going back to it, but the battle rapping, because I've never interviewed a battle rapper before. So, and it's always been something very fascinating to me because, growing up, I was a huge fan of Eminem, and the word on the street always was, oh, he was like this amazing battle rapper. And
Right.
then so like as YouTube spawned, you start seeing some of those videos pop up. And then when you start watching those videos, it starts sending you to like Hollow to Don, Charlie Clips, and like all them guys and all the
Yeah.
guys that have been doing it for a really long time. And who are some of the artists or some of the battle rappers that you look up to? Like whether they be like the big national names or somebody local, who are some of the people you look up to?
Uh, it'd have to definitely be Pat Stay. He's my number one favorite battle rapper. Um, Probably him and Tay Rock.
Okay.
Uh, which is crazy because they're both actually, like, I feel very polar opposites of each other. Tay Rock, he's part of the URL. He's very big into the gun bars. Like that's his thing. He's called the Gun Bar King.
Okay. And for the
And
people, okay, go ahead. I'll try.
I'll let you first.
No, I was going to say for the people that don't know, what is a gun bar? Or
So a gun bar is pretty much, you're gonna be referencing a gun like I had a gun so big, held it up like damn.
okay,
The chopper's the size of a minivan. It's pretty
yeah,
much you're just referencing guns, how big they are, and
gotcha,
using similes and metaphors
gotcha,
to compare your gun to something.
gotcha. Cool. And you,
So I like his stuff.
nice. And who or what was it? What is it about the other guy that you were
Oh,
mentioning?
Pat Stay.
Yeah.
Why I love him, and I think he's really the number one battle rapper because he has fun with it. He's mentioned in a few battles is just like a lot of you battle rappers, you guys just get so serious. Like I can't even poke fun at you or say something because you guys will want to fight. That's not what battle rap's about. Like you're just supposed to outdo me lyrically. You're not supposed to get all in your feelings about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one I really love and try to put myself like when I battle rap is just like I can't care about what other people are gonna think. Like I'm here to have fun. I'm here to spit my bars. If you don't like it and get emotional, that's on you. Like they're just words. You can take it or leave it however you want.
Yeah. Who are some people that you're liking right now that are like just up and comers? Like you've seen them, whether it's at a
Uh,
show that you've performed at or you saw them on like side stage, just messing around, who are some people you really looking like, dang, they could be somebody in the battle rap scene?
Uh, for sure. My homie Marks. He's one of the up and comers out here. I feel he's awesome. Aztec, Charlie Aztec. He's really into the gun bars, like I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's over there in Ontario. I like his style. Psycho Flores. Uh, this guy who's actually getting ready to. Oh, excuse me. He's getting ready to go to Texas for a South by Southwest battle rap event. He goes by MT Money.
Okay.
I really like his style. I wasn't like I've seen a few of his battles, and to be honest, like nothing really caught me. But seeing him in person, I think that really changed it for me. Because the energy of a room, like I'm pretty sure, same for when you go to a live show compared to hearing it on CD or watching a show. Like it's just a totally different feel. And when I seen him perform live, it was just awesome. Like he instantly made a fan. It was just like, okay, like that's cool. Like maybe I was paying attention more because I was actually there.
Yeah.
But he's really good. Homie Spaz, uh, he's from Washington too. But yeah, I'll definitely say probably out of those names, those are as far as people I actually know too, and as far as up and comers as well, I'd have to give it to those homies for sure.
Gotcha. What's the one thing, like, because you mentioned that did a tour, what was it, last year? And then you're
Yes.
getting ready to do two more. What's the one thing that you learned while being out on tour that maybe has changed your perspective on the music business, or maybe changed how you perform?
Um, I guess one thing is just a lot of the locals really think very highly of themselves that they are better than everyone. That was something I came across like at least almost every city. Like there's the one diva local who's on the show, and it's just like, because honestly, like really thought it was here because we have a lot of divas here, but
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, maybe when I hit the road, like a lot of people would be cooler. But
yeah,
honestly, it was like the same thing, like we'd always have that one diva who's just like, no, you got to play it like this, or like pretty much hit play on my music and then introduce me, like
yeah,
being very superstarish, and it's just like, bro, we're not even doing that for us. Like, come on now.
yeah,
But on a positive note, I'd have to say, doing the tour, it influenced me to really want to do this because it was such an awesome feeling on the road, and every day it was just like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. This is really it for me.
yep, yep. And where's this year with the two tours that you have? Where's one place that you're really looking forward to play? Like, whether because last time you played there it was such a great show, or you've never played there before.
Um, that's a good one. So for this one in October, I kind of have two. One's in Urbana, Illinois, I think is how
Okay.
you
Yeah.
pronounce it.
Yep.
I really like there. It was called the Shipyard, and it was like all these storage crates, like ship crates, and they graffitied it up, put them in the alleyway, and made a pretty much a whole venue in an alleyway. Like it was very hipster, like, but it was really cool because I've never seen something like that. So,
Yeah.
and then my second one, uh, probably for this tour, just because I've never been there, Florida. But honestly, any state with like a staple food,
Uh-huh.
I'm very excited for. Like last year, we went to New York. It was just like pizza and bagels. That's
Yep.
something I have to get.
Yeah. Yep. If when you're in Florida, if you happen to go through the Tampa area, look up this dude named Gats. He's starting to make some real waves out there, and I've met him last year at this music festival called the Gasparilla Music Festival.
Okay.
And we did, so if you like scroll back through our Facebook page, there's a interview with him, and like did he's played in like two or three different Rolling Loud music festivals, and then he just got announced for South by this year. So
Okay.
like he's doing, like, I didn't understand when I first met him because he was very humble, and it did, like, I just never heard of him before. And then once I really started getting into his music, and it's like, oh, people are really looking at him like that. That's cool, you know?
Perfect. I'll have to check them out because I actually think we do have a show booked in Tampa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And I'll make sure that you two get linked up, and see if there's any way y'all can meet up and even just talk for a few minutes, because I'm sure just meeting people would be, you know, meeting new people in new places. I'm all about it.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about too, is just the networking. That's another thing I really loved about the tour. I've networked with many artists, like a homegirl I became super tight with. She's from Inglewood, California,
Oh
so
yeah.
we chop it up every now and then. She's getting ready to go on tour. Shout out T Da Vinci and the mob. And then like I said, that homie, the Brain Cell, I met him while I was performing in Philadelphia. He actually opened for us, and it's crazy just how small the world's connected, because he actually knows someone here in Idaho who I did a feature for. So
Oh
it's
nice.
just like, and my buddy in Idaho is saying like, oh, you need to link up with him while you're out there. And then sure enough, like, he was on the show and we got to link up. So that's just really cool.
Yeah. And that touches on another thing that I'm really big on, is not burning your bridges. And because you never know who you're going to be working for tomorrow, or you never know who knows who. So like, in some way,
Exactly.
karma's going to come back and bite you in the ass if you burn a bridge. So
Exactly. And that's why I always try to keep it all love and all mutual with people. Like, I think honestly, there's only like here, like honestly, my whole life, there's only like 2 or 3 people I won't do business with.
mhm.
And I don't openly go out and like try and bash them or anything, but I'm not giving them no props or anything either.
Yeah, and that's something that I had to like stumble across ourselves. There's really only one person that's like on the absolute no, I won't ever work with them again. But I'm never gonna say publicly who they are, because they already know who they are, and that's all that matters.
Exactly. And if anyone's really close to me, like that's the thing too. Like, because people always try and pick at the drum, like, oh, who is it? It's just like, if you really know me, you know who it is.
Yeah,
I don't need to go off and spout it out. Like, if you guys are really my friends or know me, you know who I don't like. So,
yeah, exactly. What's what's one thing you want people to know about you as a person? Like, what's one thing you want people to know about you as a person?
as a person, is just, I, that's a really tough one too. I guess just really, I, I really do love and care for the scene of music and just people in general, and I just want to spread general happiness. Like, so I guess that's some about me, is just
That
I just want people to be happy.
you're just genuine, and who people interact with at shows is who you are in real life. And
Exactly. Like, I'm gonna be the same in the light that I am in the dark. You're not gonna get a different me pretty much ever, unless I'm working or something. I got to put on my customer service voice. That's
yeah,
usually the only time I'm ever different.
yeah, it's understood. um what Just one final question. What's the It just jumped out of my head. Dang it, I had it and it was gone. What um as far as or no, as far as the record label goes, how have they been how much of what's the experience like been like when as since you've signed with your label?
I'd say it's really good. Because I've met, for the most part, everyone on the label, because it's kind of scattered out, like from California all the way to Ohio and Wisconsin. I feel there's like 10 artists maybe altogether signed under
Mhm.
it, but it's been really good. I feel there's a really great support system there. Like, we have a group chat. If anyone's ever feeling down, we always hit each other up. Features, we're always trying to reach out to each other's on features. If someone needs help getting shares on their video, everyone's willing to help on
Jump.
that. So It's really cool. I just look at it honestly as like an extension of my family that I pretty much have here, just, you know, because I know if I ask them or anything, they'll do it. And I think really the only thing is just they're very a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So if you
Yeah.
want something, you have to announce it. You can't just like shy around it. Like
Yeah.
I could post all day like, oh, I wish someone would share this, you know, and
Yeah.
unless I like tell them like, hey guys, you want to help me out, you know, like then
No
they'll be like,
one's,
oh yeah, no worries, you know.
yeah. No one's going to know unless you say something.
Exactly. And I respect that too, you know, because that's one thing I live by that I tell like coworkers, family, you know, like don't beat around the bush with me. Like if you need something or want to say something, you need to speak up about it, or I'm just gonna,
Keep
you
doing
know,
what you're doing.
exactly.
Nice. Um, so what's your upcoming show schedule looking like before you go out on tour? Is there a place that people can kind of see and support your shows, or
As far as Northwest, I'm getting this year. I'm really focusing on hitting more into the studio, so I'm doing pretty much very limited shows.
okay?
Anyone can catch up with me on my personal Facebook or on my main page. Like I said earlier, I'm a very open book. I tried, if anyone messaged me, I make sure I write them back, you know. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I tried to always do lives too on my Facebook of people performing if I can, if I have the batteries.
Gotcha. Understand.
So yeah, so I tried to keep myself as far as social media, I tried to always keep myself posting like whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. I try to keep in touch with everything, and like I said, if anyone ever wants to hit me up, definitely don't be shy.
Gotcha. And the one thing you've touched on a couple times is your show love, grow love movement, and like that. How did that get started? What spawned that idea?
So what that was is when me and my buddy were doing rhythm and rhyme, we were trying to do every show we could. We were trying to support every show we could. So they had a thing here like every Thursday there was hip hop, and then every Sunday there was hip hop. So we were trying to go on there. We played definitely a good lot of shows. And our buddy Ace Flow, he just moved from Texas, and he had for the most part the same idea. So he was going to all the shows, like trying to get to know the locals.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually his cousin, because you know we'd always come across each other, like give each other daps, like, oh, you're on this one too, or you're performing tonight, cool, you know, looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
And his cousin was actually the one who told him like, hey, these guys are everywhere just like you're trying to be, you guys need to link up. So his cousin actually like was over like, hey yo, my cousin's Ace Flow, like we should all kick it sometimes, you know, like this and this. So like as we were doing more shows, we actually kicked it. We all went over to our house one day, or invited Ace over to our house one day, and he was telling us the idea. He's just like, you know, I see you guys always supporting. You're always standing at shows, this and this. Like, you know, I think that's super dope. I want, you know, that's what I do too. Like, I had this name. Like, I've been thinking about it. It's called Show Love, Grow Love. So Ace Flow definitely had. He had the origin of the name, and it was just like, you know, that has a good ring to it. Simple, you know, and it really brings a positive message too. You know, it's just like, you know, show love and grow love.
Yep.
Just and
And
that's really from there. Like, you know, we dropped a song together. We bought each other's merch that day, and really from there, that's how it all popped off.
awesome. And it's mainly just like a movement that you're initiating? Is it like a company or anything, or is it's just mainly a movement?
It's mainly just a movement, because I was on tour. Like at the end of my set, I always, you know, have a show love, grow love chant and give my little spew on it. Like, you know, the
Yeah.
locals here, you guys need to show love to your locals too, you know, because you know, you guys are each other's support, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
can't support you every day, you know, I'm from a different state, but you guys need to have each other's back, you know, and like everyone needs to just become like unified.
Yeah. Gotcha. Awesome. And then that where or how can they because that's also the Facebook page that you?
It is. We do have a Facebook page for it. We have been kind of lazy on it just with Ace Flow. He's busy with his stuff, and then I got my own stuff going on.
Yeah.
And our buddy, he's went more family life right now.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to kind of get it. So that will be something we've been talking about. Like we want to kind of revamp it again. Like every now and then, like we'll share other people's thing because we hardly ever share our stuff on there. We try not to just because, it's not about us, it's about everybody. So,
Yeah.
any artist, and it's not even just locally, any artist who hear this, if you find the Show Love Grow Love page, shoot us your videos or whatever, and we'll try and get them posted up. Like, that's really the main thing for it is, like, we want to kind of be, I guess, in a sense, like, we want to be a hub for local artists or anybody just to shoot us stuff, like, and we'll shoot it out and promote it best we can.
Gotcha. Perfect. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you giving me the time. Where can everybody support you? Like, what's your main page? What's your personal Facebook? Because you mentioned a couple times that, like, where can people reach out to you and see what you're up to?
Oh, well, anybody, and thank you again. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know it's probably busy doing all the podcasts and everything, so I greatly appreciate that.
Yep.
All the people, you can find me at Derrty Shirt on Facebook, DERRTY, regular shirt. Same as Instagram. My personal Facebook is just Robbie Menard, ROBBIEMENARD. Feel free to hit me up, shoot me a request. Like I said, I'm up to talk to anybody. If you guys ever need anybody, if you guys just want to chop music up or need links, definitely hit me up. Feel free. Those are my links. I'm pretty active on both of them. So yeah.
Awesome. I was just gonna ask which one are you more active on, but you said both of them. So
Yeah.
nope.
Definitely probably my personal one. But I still, I got it all on my phone. So if I get a message from my Derrty Shirt Facebook page, I get it on my phone. So
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, thank you again so much for giving me this time. I really appreciate it. Good luck on your battle tonight, and hopefully you come out victorious on that one.
thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you guys later.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you again, Tom.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. So this will release tomorrow morning.
Perfect.
So like I'll probably do like the pre-record and the post-record after your battle. So shoot me a little message if you find, or once you find out if you won or not, so I can just kind of update the folks. That'd be cool.
Okay, we'll do.
And yeah, man, if there's ever anything you need help promoting, album, tours, show, big show, whatever you need, let me know. Just hit me up.
No, we'll do. I definitely appreciate that on the real, man. Like,
Yeah.
because like I said, I'm always looking to network and build connections. So, and same to you. Like, if you ever need anything,
Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. I just wanted to jump on here at the end really quick, and we got a couple of bills we need to pay. We want to shout out MXL Mics. Usually we have like a very formal read the copy type situation, but stuff like this, I just want to jump on here and really tell you guys, mxlmics.com. MXL mics are the mics that we use. It's the mics I'm currently recording on, and it is absolutely amazing. I know you guys will love it. So if you're looking for new mics, instrument mics, vocal mics, podcasting mics, conferencing mics, whatever you need, MXL has it for you. If you're going to be in Roswell, New Mexico, make sure you check out thelibertyinc.com. They have shows every weekend. So if you happen to be traveling through southeast New Mexico in Roswell and looking for something to do, check out thelibertyinc.com for the latest shows that they have to offer. And finally, every year we go to the Gasparilla Music Festival down in Tampa, Florida. Sadly, this year we won't be able to make it, but that's just life. It wasn't in the budget. I digress. But I still want to support them, make sure that everybody knows about what they're doing down there. They put on this amazing 2-day festival in the middle of Tampa, which is awesome. Like the middle of the downtown area, they have this little park. It's absolutely amazing. And if you guys are going to be in Tampa this year, make sure you go check out the Gasparilla Music Festival. I know some of the acts I was looking forward to was De La Soul, Portugal the Man, and then they have so many other acts that I can't even name them all. I hope you guys go and check them out if you happen to be in Tampa. GasparillaMusicFestival.com. Go check it out. As always, make sure you go support Live and Amplified. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Live and Amplified. That's our handle all across the board. You type that in, you should be able to find us no problem. We're on, like I mentioned, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and even LinkedIn. We even have a SoundCloud page where we upload all our cover songs, and so please go check us out. And if you want to support us, we do accept donations via the Cash App at $ Live and Amplified. If you want to know more about that, make sure you have the information right. Make sure you reach out to us on Facebook, or we have a new texting community that we're building. If you ever have any questions or would like to chat with us, ask for help promoting, or just learn more about Live and Amplified, shoot us a text at 708-254-6517. We are open all the time. Shoot us a message. We're very responsive, and we'd love to hear from you. So that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will check y'all later.